After 5 years, I work in government. When I left government, I started working in the farm with my land. So I was here now with 5 years, going to 6 years.
Wow.
Beautiful. You want to explain what you have, or you want me to do it?
Yes, I have cacao. Mostly cacao I have in the farm. This land is my lease, my land, 30 acres. All this side is cacao, all variety fruits. This side here we have an inga, river plot. I think we're going there in a while. This side here we have more cacao, and graph cacao is here. You see it's short here. Going straight in the camp, have a long coffee, and around the camp is coffee. And more this side is anato. I don't know if you know about anato. This one here, then trees here.
Those one, anato.
Mm-hmm.
What is the purpose of anato?
Well, and we sell it we sold it in only the seed. Color in the seasoning, we use it to season the seed.
Ricardo, do you know Ricardo?
Okay.
Yeah, that's where it comes from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ricardo comes from Annata.
Yes, anato.
Annatto tree.
Yeah, the anato tree. And so basically, Mr. Kus has been doing that for as a cash crop, because it's something that he harvests every dry season.
Yeah.
Every March,
April.
We harvest. We have ours have flowers now. That is the next step in coming this new year. The harvest. And cacao we have the season right now, and every week, every 2 weeks we sold it with cacao to the market.
So does everything have to get humped out?
Yes,
Like
that is it.
there's,
Yeah.
you have a horse to help, or?
No, I don't have rice.
Oh wow.
So far, about 5 minutes walking.
Wow.
Slippery
My
slope.
plan is to fix the road now. To reach the top here. I have weekends here by 4. I'll see how far I can go this dry. Can make a big difference.
The Norma and Harry are at Yashe. They actually came for a training on the nursery establishment management and all of those things. But I think over the 2 years, over the 2 days, things have changed a little bit, because as Norma and Harry understand more of the work that we do, their plans also become a little bit more, focused. And so I think what we would like for the experience to be this morning is if you could walk us around your farm to show us what you're doing, explain some of the effort that you have put into getting the farm where it is, maybe highlighting some of the things that you think are very interesting. And as we go along in the tour, then I am going to pitch in, if that is okay with you. I will help. Isidoro also works with I should have introduced you to Isidoro Shaw. He is one of the extension officers at Yashe. He focuses specifically on bees. Beekeeping is his expertise, apiculture.
I'll have some questions for you.
Oh, okay, good. But he also has a wide range of knowledge as it relates to agroforestry on a whole. So I think it's going to be a combined tour. Mr. Kus, myself, Isidoro, and of course with you with your questions. I think that we have about maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours. I think that the objective is for you to gather as much information from the farm, but to connect what was covered in the training
Absolutely.
to what is happening here. I think that many questions can come up, and many answers as well. So I don't know, Mr. Kus,
Yeah.
you take us wherever you think would be
So-
They
important.
work in the SJ or
No,
just
they are
on-
here
just
for
on
they came for a
student,
training. They came for a training. They wanted a training on how to establish a nursery. So that is what they were here for. And so we spent 2 days providing information, insights, best practices. But I think that the training would have been incomplete if we did not bring him to a farm. And that is why we took the opportunity to come and share with them your farm.
Intensive training.
So part of what changed during the training session, my fiance has, about 40 acres.
Yep.
and diverse trees, but what keeps coming up in our minds during the training was like, how do we decide, what kind of tree types, and the soil type he has is
Yes.
pretty muddy,
Oh, okay. Clay.
clay, yeah, and there's a lot of flooding in his area.
Dark clay.
Oh,
Yeah, so I'm just trying to figure out like the type of tree types that will survive in his area, and how do you decide what you're going to plant
yeah.
and arrange the trees in that way?
Okay.
I don't know if you want to share with her how you do all this.
When I start work here in my farm, in my land, it's bushy, high bush, and this bushy. It's take me 2 years to plant the cacao. It's too much shading.
Yeah.
I plant first, it's not come up quick, and you have to open it. It's following air, the third year, and then it's 5 to 6 years. So it's growing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have this area, this plot here. I have mahogany, cedar. I don't know if you know about berry. It's a berry.
Yeah.
It's a small tree
Yeah.
here. It's the built of combine.
Yeah.
I have 100 trees.
100 baby.
Wow.
100 plants.
Now, Bailey, you can only harvest a little at a time to keep the tree healthy.
Yes, you have to trim it, and then the new leaf is slowly growing.
So how many years before you can start the harvest?
Well, I don't know.
How old is that
have
bay leaf
I
there?
have this for 2 years.
Okay, so that bay leaf there is 3 years.
3 years.
It would be about maybe 5, 6 years, and then you'll be able to probably get 1 or 2 leaves from the bay leaf.
When it's
What-
mature.
Yeah, when it's as it get mature. However, as you start cutting, the trees start growing taller, and that is one of the considerations that you must have, because the tree. So when you start cutting the leaves to harvest the leaves, then that is stimulating this plant to move up.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is important for you to note, because you want to also plan how it is, if that is something that you want to do, how is it that you take that into account to ensure that you always have a supply of bay leaf if you have somebody who's interested in buying it. That means you have to have the number of trees has to be high, but you also have to have staggered planting.
Yeah.
All right, you can't plant all of them in 1 year or in 2 years.
Yeah.
You have to have a number of years that you will be able to plant these trees, so that you can
Always have continuous
yeah,
harvest.
I don't know if you want to add something, Isidoro.
Coming to planting, you have to design your farm first.
Mm-hmm.
You have to notice what kind of land you have, your swampy area, how big the swampy area, how big is the higher land, and all of those, and then coming to bay leaf, and then bay leaf intends to, like, it grows into much more of not too swampy, but in between, so that grows very rapidly faster. And I have bay leaf in my farm. In 2 years time, it's more bigger than that, because I have chose the place that is between,
Yeah.
because bay leaf need a lot of water, just like kuhun leaf.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kuhun leaf takes a lot of water. So if you see a lot of kuhun leaf in your land, so bay leaf is a good place to plant bay leaf there. So that's how its bay leaf intend to grow.
That's a
So
good
the
one.
more you harvest, like say for example you have 100 plants, you could still harvest 2 leaves off of that. With 100 plants, you collect maybe like 200 leaves out of the 100 plants, because you're taking two leaves from each plant. So you could build a little hut there with bay leaf. That is my intake on bay leaf. But again, designing a farm is very good. And then you know your trees, like cedar trees. Cedar trees is a rapidly growing trees, because it contains a lot of water. It sucks a lot of water, need a lot of water. Soundwood is the same thing. But coming to mahogany trees, it doesn't need
tolerate.
a lot of swampy air, because those grows into much
Hills.
up the hillside, because they grow very slowly. So all of that I was looking at my farm too, and farmers like you guys need to understand that those trees need to be put in place where is it. Coming to another trees, we call it quamwood, Those palmwood is rapidly growing very fast. Within 2 years, you have a trees like this
Wow.
because they suck a lot of water.
Are they what kind of
Soft.
wood?
They are softwood.
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 Because
Soft.
it's softwood.
Yeah.
So you have
very fast.
that's a concept you can take. Softwood, rapid growth.
Yeah.
Hardwood, take a longer while to grow. In addition to that, and I think a very valid point comes up where I don't know where in terms of farm development you are, but if you are starting, I think the opportunity there is for you to develop a map of your
Yeah.
farm. And what you're mapping where you want your crops, but you also want to map the soil type
Yeah.
on your farm, because I can tell you, if you ask Mr. Kus, he has 30 acres here. But right within this 30 acres, there is so much variation in his soil type. The soil over there is different from the soil right
Yes,
here,
yeah.
and it's different from over there, and it's
Yeah.
different over here. So not because you have a relatively small area, that means you can say, oh, the soil is uniform. No, you also have depressions, and that is also going to influence what tree is going to grow there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So those are some of the things that you want to plan, or you want to have in mind as you go through your farm, through this farm. Maybe connecting with your farm and seeing how it is that, okay, this is how this looks, and the questions can come. Why did you do this here? Why not there? I'm thinking, no?
Why does he have so many soil types in this spot?
Okay,
Because-
when I'm talking of soil types, I'm talking of a change. If you go over there, he might have a slope. That means that over the years, some soil have been washed off that. So you might have lost your topsoil. Where has that topsoil accumulated? At the bottom part of the slope.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
All
So
right.
because-
And that is natural. So whether you if you disturb it, it happens faster. But if you don't disturb it, still it happens because the rain falls and it
Yeah.
moves the soil. Plant roots will help hold that as well. Also, the top of the hill might have a thick layer of top soil with a lot of rich humus. However, maybe at the lower end, you might have clay that is a little closer. So that is going to influence the type of plant that you will
Yes.
grow, or that will grow there. Those are important considerations. Similarly, the amount of vegetative cover that he has, because if he has a lot of vegetation, leaves fall, decomposition happens, and then you have this organic material being incorporated into the soil, as opposed to an area where you don't have the trees, and then you don't have that organic material falling, so your soil type is going to change there. Yeah. I don't know, Mr. Kus, I think we want to walk around and...
exercise and stuff.
Yes, of course. Is that okay with you?
We come to
And please
exercise.
ask the questions as we move along.
First, you want to see the Inga?
Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, you have to go and see and come this way and then go
Yeah,
around.
yeah, and then we could move on.